we got a star on the line here, Alex, and we're wasting time. We're burning gigabytes.
Password.
Capital G, capital R.
Welcome to the podcast with Alex Rodriguez and Ron Williams. They talk about the Orange County music scene, from the past to the present and the future. Today's guest is Ken Mahru. He started Bread Circus with Alex a bajillion years ago. They talk about making sweet music together, and here they are now.
Well, I saw your demo reel yesterday, right, where you were talking about this. You said the same thing, right? And it's because we were of two worlds in a lot of ways. And you say this, right? We knew what was going on in San Diego because that's where we lived. But we have roots in Orange County. And I was trying to think, you remembered things that I hadn't thought of in a long time, right? How did the band start, right? I still don't know how Tim got in the band, right? I don't remember, right? He just showed up one day and was awesome. And that's it, right? And he was always there. He was never not there, right?
I think it came from a shelter. I'm not sure.
He was unhoused. But I think that's the thing about Orange County's scene. It was just because we had people in Orange County, we looked for places to play, right? It wasn't even like they were coming for us, except maybe, playing in Orange High, the whatever, two, three times we did that, right? And Foothill, right? We played our high schools, right? And after we graduated. But looking for places, why was that our first show? Because our girlfriends were in Orange County, maybe? I don't know.
No, we were still in Orange County. Remember? Yeah, we were still in
You were
Orange County.
still, this is the other thing, right? You were in Orange
Oh,
County
wait a minute.
for 2 years. And this is the thing that I don't remember, which is, how did we even have a band when I was in San Diego all the time and you guys were all here? Where did we really practice in my mom's house?
We did a few times, and it was more like unplugged or just like not Tim. But yeah, I distinctly remember the four of us at your mom's house doing work. But you're totally right. That was not your house anymore. That was your parents' house when Bread Circus formed. What I remember is playing a show there, and when we recorded a digital video, and we titled the live concert video "Stranger Things Have Happened."
That's correct.
It's all coming back. And that was the show. Maybe that wasn't the show. No, it might have been, where we had people vote on the name.
Right. That is correct.
Of the band.
Yeah.
And our roots, the Bread Circus roots is this. We were planted in a pot first because we have a lot of friends, or we did then anyway. We had a shitload of friends. We filled that backyard. And I remember the signatures on the pages and the adulation and the noise. And so by the time we did our first show in Goodies, we had an audience and we didn't have to pay to play, right? And so it was like that. But I believe we took root. I mean, we took root in San Diego.
Yeah, right. Yes, I'm picking up your metaphor here. Right. Right.
So therefore,
right. We germinated in Orange County, but we flourished in San Diego, right? And because it's Southern California, right? Forays back to Orange County, forays into Los Angeles, right? Because we never toured. It's not like we understood the idea of shows up and down the coast. This is how you do the thing. It was just where else can we go? Who else will let us show up and play?
Yeah.
We were just talking about Copley Colony Cable. I wasn't even a customer of that cable system. It was in Cerritos. But I bowled with a guy in Los Alamitos, and he was in Copley Colony Cable. And he goes, I can get time on the cable channel.
So getting back to Bread Circus, let's just talk about who we are. We grew up here in Orange County, Tustin, an orange, pretty much, right? And you and I, Ken, have known each other most of our lives. And then you picked up Brian on the street, something like that, right? And it was basically that kind of a thing. This is who Ken is, by the way, because Ken just quickly gets a vision and goes, okay, which way? And so the way he tells the story and the way it plays out in my mind is they went to this music camp together, and they went to different high schools, didn't know each other, but I think you heard him playing bass, or was it euphonium?
I don't
Maybe
even
you
know.
heard, it didn't matter.
I just heard a bass player.
A bass player. You're a bass player, and you stuck your head in the door, literally and you said, "Where do you live? Orange. You want to be in my band?" Boom, boom.
I don't
Right?
even think I waited for the answer. I was just like, "Where do you live? Do you
Yeah.
want to be in my band?" And I walked away. Like
Yeah.
that's me.
That is so romantic. That's like when men talk about, and I saw her, and I said to my best friend, "I'm going to marry her," and he did.
Yeah.
And so Brian is the one who picked up Tim because Tim was a grade lower than him at Orange High School.
Well, they were also childhood friends, right? They played GI Joes in the backyard together.
Oh,
Right. So much
yeah.
like, you and I went to the same preschool, we met again in fourth grade.
Mm.
We became, fast friends. I don't remember how long it took to start, listening to Dr. Demento tapes in the,
Oh,
on the film strip machine, but we built this friendship from a young age.
I'm so glad that there's you out there to carry that legend. You know what I mean? I'm so happy because I'll tell a stranger on the bus that story. That's beautiful. Dr. Demento just had his last show, and I was telling everybody.
Yeah.
Dr. Demento was a time, and we became Bread Circus, and what were we like? We were so weird and eclectic, and by that what I mean is, we're cohorts, we're the same age, we live in the world, we know what music is out there, but it's like where are you coming from? And I was really being reductive about it, but I was telling Corey the other day, it's like what is the band? Why do I know no Paul McCartney albums, but I know every note of every Beatles song, right? Why? Because same as it's Bread Circus. Like you got the bass player who loves Fish and the Muppets. You got the guitar player who loves Rat and Jimi Hendrix, right? And these guys love the Monkees and Tim and his pots and pans. And it's like only those four people are Bread Circus, and Bread Circus can only be those four people. I was very much reminded of that when we played together last July.
That's a good one. I listened quite a bit to our early tapes, right? I've been digitizing our stuff and preparing for that moment. And you can hear in early recordings us trying to figure it out, right? And I think it was a confluence of desire and ability, right? Because Bread Circus was in some ways, a very precariously balanced house of cards, right? And you kind of needed the things that people lacked to be made up by the other people, right? And it's that thing, that like smushing together of where people had abilities and where people didn't, that I think really formed the sound of Bread Circus, right? So, you and I, still learning guitar. We weren't great guitar players, either of us. You maybe even better than me. I don't know, but good songwriters, right? And I think for myself, I think for you, songwriting was always the thing. The rest of it was tangential to writing songs, right? All the time.
Yeah.
Brian and Tim, incredibly technical players who wanted to show off that skill, right? So, our sort of simplistic guitar playing balanced out their overplaying on bass and drums. It's what made it work, because where perhaps we should have been doing more, they made up for that, right?
Yeah.
And then as we developed as songwriters, right, getting better and better and better at it, right, everyone kind of figured out where they needed to like adjust those levels a little bit. And I think that we did, at some point before things ended, find a really good balance of all of that worked, right? It's like people got better, people knew how to back off a little bit, but without Brian's melodic bass playing over just some strummed guitars, it's not really the same. If he had just been playing eighth notes, maybe not so good, right? Not so engaging. So that's what I think. And you can, you might not remember this, but Brian had his song that was like, bam, 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 I do what I want, I say what I want, bam, 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 right? Weird key
I do.
changes, right? We
I
played
do.
it a couple times. It was not going to be
It was
one
a
of the
Buck and
hits,
Bronco.
right?
Yeah.
And there are other songs like that. Songs we played a
Yeah.
handful of times that did not get on an actual recording, that didn't make it from the first time we played it to the end of the band, right? And there are plenty of songs that did, but part of that was that you and I especially were constantly writing, right? And we're always trying to bring new songs in. And I think as a band, prided
Yeah.
ourselves on every next show you will probably hear a new song.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna back up to how you described the band, where the foundation is like this, and then the tent is like this, and your guitar playing and my guitar playing, and what was happening over this tapestritic. Look that up. Is that a word? It is now. This tapestry of skill and technique and musical expression. I'm not gonna hold on, Ron.
5 minutes later.
You're right. Tim and Brian um, are the kind of musicians that go home and they do the practicing 3 hours a day. They do it, and then they just perspire that shit out, on stage. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not to say that we were mismatched. We were not mismatched at all. We fit together. Um, uh, People wise, personality wise, and the way we played. And Ken and I are songwriters, and that's just how that went. And what you said actually at breakfast that day was, and then there's two guitar, like, and you're so good because like I'm not naming names. It's just there's two guitars who were basically playing the same thing, and in that relationship um, we try to make it interesting there. But anyway, this is the weeds right here. This is we only got you. I know you got to catch a plane, but in any case, after a while, I feel like we were more unique at the beginning. After a while, we got especially we were practicing every single week. When we were our tightest, we started getting more not just technical, but like also the eclectic stuff. It started to more bottleneck into the sound of what was happening because at that time we were a college band. We had a Friday night gig at a local pub, right? Remember
Yeah,
that?
sure.
And yeah, we became. And so by the time to bring it to Orange County Rock with a Twist of Lemon, by the time we were doing that, we sort of had stuff like who we were. We could book studio time and make use of that time, which we did to record Sunshine for that thing, and Who Has Time for Love.
Yep. And
Um,
Alvin.
Ron got mad at me because he's like, Alex, you didn't tell me that was the Monkees. I'm like, bro, you got to ask me if something's the Monkees.
Well, I also thought you wrote the song "Creep." So,
That's on you.
I thought it was your best song. I will always say that "Creep" was by far your best song. It was so perfect for your vocals. So let me step in here. First of all, let's pause the podcast for a second.
5 minutes later.
So my inclusion in this podcast would be talk about what you guys, your involvement in the Orange County Rock with a Twist of Lemon CD, because I look at it as like my crowning achievement. Like this is something I came up with as I was in my band struggling to get noticed, or are we going to record? And I had joined the band Early Man 1994, 1995. So you guys were already a band for 5, 6, 7 years at the time. And so I came back to you going, "Hey, Alex or Ken, how did I approach you and say, do you guys want to do a compilation where our band does some songs and you guys do some songs and we release an album together?" Is that what you remember or how you remember it?
I imagine this came. I don't honestly. I don't remember how we got on it, but I think Alex, because I remember Alex doing the work of booking the studio, and so I think he must have been more in contact with you than I was. And however, and definitely Alex was, he knew about Early Man earlier, but you were talking about that the other day. I totally remember your demo was really good. Like I had a copy of it too.
Yeah, we only had 3 songs, but of the 3, I thought they were pretty good.
I wish I had Alex's memory to just like sing it for you right now. But
I got schizophrenia.
see?
2 people in my crania competing for my brainia. But I can't complain ya because we're happy.
So I feel like Alex booked the studio and it was like, hey, we got to do these tracks. Ron's going to do this thing. And I felt like I was just along. My memory is just being along for the ride for all of it in a lot of ways. Like, sure he will.
And we wrote, as my memory tells me, we wrote those 2 songs for this. I wrote Sunshine. You wrote Who Has Time for Love.
See,
so that
that's
we
an
could have
interesting way to say it, because I would imagine that those just happen to be the 2 songs that we had written when we needed them. Like, not that we
Okay.
knew that we needed new songs for some new
Yeah.
thing. Because again,
Yeah.
we were always writing songs, right? I think I was a little bit more like regular about it. You kind of hoarded, and then it's like, oh shit, it's album time. Here's all the stuff I've been working on. Sorry I didn't tell you about it sooner.
Hey, you're just going to tell everybody? Yeah, that's exactly right. He nailed it.
Yeah, so this was all 30 years ago. So Alex and I, when we were talking last year about maybe reopening a venue here in Orange County in Tustin, we got to talking about, well, it's 30 years since the Clutter album. And I go, Bread Circus had an album, Clutter, and I don't know how many, I think Alex has got a photo.
There's a graphic you'll put up later.
Nice. And so that 30-year anniversary concert led you guys to get together last summer and practice. And then I said, next year is the 30-year anniversary of Orange County Rock with a Twist of Lemon, because this came out in September of 1996. And somehow it grew from just being Bread Circus to also other bands and 2 songs apiece. And, it grew into this massive project with 8 bands, 2 songs, probably 20 or 30 people involved in the production. And it took me 9 months from concept till birth to give birth to that album, so to speak. And so you guys, all you had to do was contribute 2 songs. And if you notice, there is a little, besides...
Point of interest, this was also very Yacht Rock and $200.
Oh, and I think it was $300. I think you paid $300. Every band paid to be on it to produce. We only produced 1,100 copies. And I think I gave every band 100 to sell. Like, if you guys sell this album, and Alex did warn me, other people have different memories than I do, which I go, yeah, you're right. What was your experience? You said Alex mostly was my contact. And I do think Alex and I were the point of contact for this particular project. But you guys were all there at Club 369, right? When we did our CD release party. And I'll put up a picture of the...
Wasn't there also something in Pepperland? I thought it was a Pepperland CD release.
Yeah, ultimately I met a guy named Mike LaFave from Pepperland Music. And he had a record store in Orange on Tustin Avenue. And when I got to him saying, hey, can you guys sell our CD in your store? And he goes, well, I'll do more than that. I'll produce it. So I think he put $2,000 in or $2,500 in to help pay for the graphics, pay for the booklet. I wasn't making hardly any money at the time. I was doing this all as like a fun project. But like all the money that we got, we put into it. And we had legal contracts and publishing rights and all this stuff that we had to file. Part of the assembly of the compilation was getting all the bands to join ASCAP or BMI, or like, if you guys are a band and you guys need to protect your publishing. And also I want a page on how to get a hold of you guys. Write a story about your band. Tell us how we can contact you. Put your email, your phone number. And this was before websites, Ken. I mean, this was before social media.
Oh yeah, that was a good point that you made about this CD was cross promotion. Or today you could just hook up and, like we could put our OnlyFans together and be one super, thing.
Did you say OnlyFans?
I don't recall, but it's like how punk bands.
That's a different kind of a podcast.
Where it's like side A is this band, side B is that band, and it grew into that. But yeah, no internet.
Split 7-inch.
We had zines, we had flyers.
Well, this
Hold on, let me get my...
I think I helped you guys produce some of those flyers. Like, I was the big computer nerd, graphic design guy, and hey, Bread Circus needs some flyers. Let's go print some at Ron's house because he's got, or my office with Corel Draw. I got all the what do you call it? The clip art. I got all the clip art. So yeah, I remember sitting there helping you guys print in color. I had a color printer. I think that was the big deal. It's like, oh, we could print this in color.
Ron, why did you say we were assholes in the liner notes of this?
You had to bring that up.
Do you remember that, Ken? Except Bread Circus, they're assholes.
I think it was mainly because when I asked you guys for a photo of the band, you gave me a blurry one, and I didn't recognize any of you.
Hey, there's no bad publicity.
Yeah.
Maybe you
I
guys
think also our band description in that booklet is pretty fictional.
Well, yeah. Let me read that to you guys and get your comments. So here is, I think it's what. So the story of Bread Circus, childhood friends, Alex was on vocals for the song Sunshine, and Ken, who sang the vocals on Who Has Time for Love. Oh, Alex is going to play us a little riff here. So they grew up making music in the spice mine. In Orange County. After rescuing Brian from the cruel spice miners, he was so grateful that he remains the persevering. Wait, I can't even read my own damn writing. I need to ask ChatGPT to read this for you guys. I'll put up a screenshot of it. And then later on, that Bread Circus serves to remind you that nothing rhymes with orange. And that stands today. I still think that's true today.
Does that sound like fiction to you?
I think sometimes you write your own story, and if by definition it's nonfiction.
You got to fake it till you make it.
Yeah, baby.
I think back in the day, I wanted to be in a band so bad. I don't want to say I ever wanted to be in Bread Circus, but I thought Alex was he was my most favorite musician. He was like, I love the way he sings. And you wrote that song, Creep, about me. I thought it was about me when I first heard it. No, but no kidding. I was a big fan of Bread Circus, and to hang out with you guys at Denny's was like, holy shit. I remember Alex being a baby bando in 8th grade, and Ken didn't, forgive me for asking, but didn't I film your sister's wedding?
You did.
And it was a memory that just came up going, I remember filming Ken's sister's wedding. Did I do a good job? And how is that marriage doing?
They're great. They're still together.
Then I did it. Thanks to me. Without that video. So a successful marriage. Great. But I just remember us being friends and going to Denny's and going to coffee shops and any show, anywhere, anytime. Anytime Bread Circus was playing in Fullerton, I would show up as a fan mostly, but I just liked hanging out with you guys. And then, of course, Alex says, yeah, but Ron, you are also in the Orange County music scene, meeting other bands, and I was cheating on you with other bands, and I was always a loyal Bread Circus guy. And we talked about your Halloween party down in San Diego. And then Alex said, we had one of those every year. And I go, so maybe I only got invited to the one.
So you see, it's a rich history here, folks, and we should get together another time in the future. Maybe invite Brian, maybe another Bread Circus member, and continue. Like there's more legend to print.
Well, and so Ken, I know you got to go here, but we need to do this again. We didn't let you talk hardly enough. Alex is on a roll.
Well, it's great to see you both. I'm excited to hear you all talk more about all of this, and happy to help however I can. It's exciting. So let me know what I can do to help. Let me know when you want to talk some more. It's great to see you, and
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and when you guys do get together again, turn on a camera, record something, like even for your rehearsal, and when you guys do your 31-year anniversary concert, what, July, August, something?
we're talking about. We didn't tell you this, Ken. Yeah, sorry, but we're talking about a show and try to get some of the bands together from that compilation. where like that little show happens on a Saturday, but we're the previous Friday, so that we're all in town. So we're not sharing the stage with some assholes. We got our own thing.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I don't think you guys are assholes. I think you guys are two of my favorite people in the world. Uh, it was probably a joke, and I apologize. But also, how fucking great was it to get 8 bands together to do a compilation CD, and I got to write the liner notes, and obviously we put in so much effort to get the photographs and the graphic design, and all you guys had to do was write a song. And there is a album note. If you ever listen to the album, in the song Sunshine, there's a little skip in it. It's like, and it was a digital artifact during production that we didn't catch until later on when we're listening to the CDs.
And Ron, little did you know that Sunshine, that song that we gave to you, it became a Bread Circus signature song. One of the jewels in the chandelier.
And I think you play it at twice as fast, or is it half as fast?
A bit faster. We did it better for our fans. We just gave you what we just crapped out that morning. Anyway, we were wrapping this up so nicely. Ken, I love you. It's great to see
Love
your
you too,
face
man.
always. You make me very happy.
Same here. It's just lovely to see you.
Take care,
Ron,
bud.
thanks for being part of all this.
Hell yeah. No, I'm happy to. And thanks for joining so quickly. Like literally yesterday we're messaging and today you're on camera. We could have probably done this 100 times in the last 30 years.
Thank you, Ken, for talking about your time with Bread Circus and your time in the Orange County music scene. Now, here's Alex and Ron with some more convo after the pod. And here they are now.
Okay, so we're back here with Alex Rodriguez, co-host of the OC Music Podcast. We just got done recording with Ken Mahru from Bread Circus. And it turns out Alex and Ken have known each other since birth, so I think they were fighting in the womb together. And Alex, what do you think about our conversation there? Kind of
That was the lovely. It was the lovely. Yeah, man. I really meant it when I said, at the end that it always makes me feel good to see him, and think about somebody from way back in your life. And that guy and I have done a lot together. We've done a lot. Like, we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of things. But we've experienced a lot. We've shared a lot of the same interests and supported each other's quests on stuff. We've been there for a lot of great creative moments, and not just what we've done, but other things. Other like. One day I'll tell you about the legendary Michael Nesmith concert at the Wadsworth Theater that we went to. A hero of both of us. Definitely my hero.
So the band Bread Circus, obviously we're going to get into the history of that throughout this podcast, because you being the co-host of OC Music Podcast, we're going to cover other bands. We're not going to talk about ourselves the whole time, but we're in the early days of this podcast. And of course, we need to you guys need to get to know us here in the audience. And Alex and I, since we go way back, of course, we're just going to talk like we're everyday friends. But when we bring a guy like Ken on, we only had a half an hour with the guy. So it was great to catch up to him. And I don't think I've seen him in 20 years. So you guys got together last summer. You want to talk about the Bread Circus project, maybe that's coming up this summer or later this year in 2026?
Yeah, we had the idea of, because Orange County Rock with a Twist of Lemon is also turning 30, right? 30. So Clutter came out first. And so I thought, since we have, how hard is it to get all 4 Bread Circus members in the same room? It's like all 4 Ninja Turtles. I don't know if I said that, but it's why we don't travel in the same plane together. So I think we should knock it out in one weekend. I think we really should. The Orange County Rock concert one night, and then the Bread Circus, be it in the park, be it at a Band West type situation, where it's just a rock and roll stage or something. So that needs to happen this summer, tail end of this summer. We played last year and nobody knew about it. We didn't tell anybody. No, the mailing list didn't go out. We just did it because Toad the Wet Sprocket came to Ken's town, and because they were touring, because that's the kind of economy we live in. Old guys have to tour. And Total Sprocket was a band that we drove everywhere in Southern California, and sometimes beyond. Sometimes we crossed the border to see them. That's just what we did because you're kids, you have nothing better to do. But they were a big band for us in the '90s, and so when they were touring, Ken threw out the invitation to Brian, to Tim, and to me, and we all came to see Till the West Sprocket, and we're like, hey, since we're here, let's spend the weekend. Before the show on Saturday, we'll go to Ken's rehearsal space, and we'll play, and we play for 3 hours, and we played on Sunday too. And what came of that was literally every Bread Circus song ever performed by the mature Bread Circus, the honed, the sharpened.
The original 4.
With Ken's always been great at tech and the recording stuff. He's that kind of gunslinger, and it sounds brilliant, and it exists. And I don't know if we should link that or dole it out, or maybe make it exclusive to our Patreon members.
Now I got to start a Patreon account. No, we will have. I will put up some stills.
That's my son, who I teach guitar, and my son and I are in a band called The Gitness, and the purpose of the band is to teach him music and to be in a band. And so he came with me, and he got to see that. And I'm telling you, it is a big deal to him. And I'm only starting to learn this now as a father of 2 late teens and one person who will turn 20 tomorrow. They're in this age of their lives where they're looking at their dad they're looking at their parents like, who are you? Like, for the first time, like, oh, you're interesting, right? And they want to know about Bread Circus, and they know the songs. And my son, he's got his favorite Bread Circus songs, and I'm like, that's your favorite? Holy shit! And I get to tell him these stories about each individual song, and he's riveted. So anyway, that was that weekend. My son was there to see. I don't know if he played with us or not, but whatever. Print the legend. And we were supposed to play last summer, and lots of things happened that I'll use as an excuse to get in the way. But last summer would have been the 30th anniversary of Clutter, and who gives a shit? Now, the only day we got is today. So the 31st anniversary of Clutter, our first CD. I remember my friend Wayne Evil E saying when we got this CD, this bulk of CDs to sell, he's just like, to himself, was like, I can't believe you guys have a CD. But like, you guys, right?
Well, and not to stop you there, but the production of what goes into recording and renting rehearsal. Are you looking at me, the man, or looking at me, the camera? Hey! So you guys can be invited into this situation here. Alex is in the living room, and I'm in the kitchen or the dining room. The production of a compilation CD and the production of Clutter involved many recording sessions, many different. Did you guys go to a recording studio, or did you record it
for Clutter? Yeah. Okay, this is what I'll tell you. Clutter is another time, another day to tell the story. Clutter is Clutter. It's called Clutter for a reason. There are many things to explain to you. Okay, so the short answer to your question is no.
Were they demo recordings, stuff you had on a?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You'll never arrange this bouquet. Let me arrange it for you. But let me quickly tell you, it was some things pulled from here, from this recording means. Our studio was our rehearsal space with a 4-track and overdubbing, like the Beatles. Don't look down on that. Some were live from the Coach House, right? And the process of mastering the album, which was me with a cold, lying on the floor of a Guitar Center DAT machine sales booth, where they graciously let me stay there until the very last second when somebody finally noticed me and kicked me out. I mastered that thing. I did my best, and people like it, so it's good. Ken will tell you an interesting thing about the mastering of that album, which is it's at a certain speed. He knows it. He knows that part better than I do. But that's Clutter. That's Clutter.
All right. Well, now
the album after that, Ron, the album after that, original motion picture soundtrack, was done in a professional studio with Jeff Forrest, who was a known engineer in San Diego. He'd recorded other people like the Rugburns and Gregory Page, and people know him or know that name if it's in your album. We recorded it at whatever studios by Jeff Forrest. But that was full sound booth, giant mixer, the right mics for the right drums, all that stuff, and much less known than Clutter. Even though it sounds
Give me
better.
a second here, because I was going to look up. Let me go on to my little internet machine here.
By the way, we played every single Bread Circus song over 3 hours plus however long on Sunday that weekend last July. Plus, are you ready? Make a big crowd noise drum roll for this. A new song. Because Ken, again, we were talking about being prolific songwriters. It just falls off of him in a different way than me. Ken, I want to tell you this, and I wanted to say this during the interview, but we moved on, and you don't need every anecdote, but this is a good one because I stayed the night in Ken's apartment once, and this is just post college days, and Bread Circus is really working, I think, and so I stayed at his apartment. And I woke up in the morning and I needed a piece of paper to write a phone number down on or something. And I looked, there's a notebook. And we want to flip to an empty page. No empty pages in that notebook. I open his desk, another notebook, a pad, like a hotel pad, a legal pad. I just want one Post-it that I can take my pen and write down something on. Not one scrap of paper.
This is Ken you're talking about?
In Ken Mahru's apartment had room for another mother idea. Ken?
Hold on. Now we're going to have to get a not safe for work rating on our podcast.
Thank you for watching the podcast with Alex Rodriguez and Ron Williams. Hey! They talk about the Orange County music scene from the past to the present and the future. Come back again soon for more great talk and music discoveries.